Okay, the last portion of this, well, there's two final sessions. I'm going to give about 20 minutes on open houses, 15, 20 minutes. And then we're just going to open the floor to questions, answers, good ideas, best practices, anything that helps the clubs here thrive. How many here have ever had an open house in their club? Oh, lots, lots. How many have found it very useful? Kind of. Okay, all of a sudden the hands aren't going down. How many people got 3 or more members out of that open house? Okay, we're down. Okay, so 3. One of the open houses can be extremely effective. Thunderbird held an open house a couple of years ago now, and we got 7 new members out of that club. And a lot of it was from the person who organized it, which wasn't me, but I learned and took lots of notes when she did it. The main thing is she got the word out to everybody in every possible way that she could send information out. She had flyers up in the neighborhood. She had advertisements, like in the free paper, she had little advertisements up in there. She was on Twitter. She had people on Facebook. She had people in all the social media. She went out, and everybody in the club was pointed at, you need to tell 3 people about this, and make sure you bring someone. So tell as many people as you want, but everyone has to tell at least a minimum of 3 people. So word of mouth, social media, flyers, advertisement. She blanketed the entire community with information about this open house. So that's part of it, is they won't come to an open house that they don't know is there. So the more people you can reach in as many different ways as you can, the more guests you are going to interest. Preparation is key. She had an agenda that was absolutely solid. She had 2 speakers. One was an advanced speaker. One was a brand new speaker, an icebreaker. Because if you get 2 really strong people speaking, they can terrify their guests, right? We have to show that everybody starts somewhere. Everybody starts at this level and grows. So they had an icebreaker and a strong, experienced speaker, so they can see the difference. They had all the grammarians, all the roles filled and solid. We had 2 greeters, one at the door and one to help shepherd people around. We sat every guest that came through the door with an experienced person who could answer questions for them. We had food. You would not believe, Brenda likes food. You would not believe the draw that cookies exert on people. Just juice and cookies will bring people in who might not otherwise come. So if you just say refreshments provided, that brings in more people than you can possibly imagine. Make sure that those people who are on the agenda are actually going to be there. Don't put someone on the agenda that has a history of dropping out at the last minute. So make sure your participants are strong, dedicated people. Have your guest packages ready and have lots of them. Expect a minimum of 10 guests to your open house. Be prepared for a minimum of 10. We had 15 guest packages set up. We had, I think, 11 guests. So always have lots of things ready. And we've heard what a guest package should, some of the things a guest package should contain. So we know about that. Once all this stuff is done, then you're set. Get everybody pumped and make sure that everybody's enthusiastic. Because during the meeting, when people walk in that door, they want to feel that there is energy just exploding out of this room, right? Everybody's got a big smile on their face. There is nothing that makes a person more approachable than a smile. So have everyone smiling and upbeat and ready, have laughter. Have someone in the background telling jokes just so that there's laughter going on when people walk in. Because all of a sudden that's a draw. I believe it was you, sir, who said that you joined because you heard a room full of laughter.
A school.
A school. There. That's an amazing draw. So have everyone upbeat, excited, have everything set up and ready to go ahead of time, because when the guest starts coming in, those are what you want to focus on. You don't want to have people still putting things out when the guests are walking in the door. Everybody should be focused on the guests. Be warm, be smiling. Invite the guest, explain what table topics, for example, is, and tell them ahead of the meeting that there will be an opportunity for them to speak should they choose to. So invite them to participate, but don't pressure them to. So tell them ahead of time, even give them a topic, a simple, easy topic, saying, if you're interested, here's what you can talk about, my favorite pet, or something of that nature. And so that they are prepared and ready to go up if they decide they want to. So they're not thrown up as a guest without knowing even really what Toastmasters is all about, or Table Topics is all about. So that's one way that you can get guests involved. Ask them if they choose to introduce themselves. If they prefer not, have the person sitting next to them introduce them. So that there is never any pressure, but there is always the enthusiasm and the encouragement to do it. Have lots and lots of time scheduled for networking. At the end of the meeting, whether it's a 1-hour meeting or a 2-hour meeting, make sure that the guests have time to talk with people, either have a break in the middle or at the end of the meeting, so that people can ask questions and visit with others and just get the vibe and get the feel of the club. So be warm, be welcoming, give them time to ask questions. Close the sale. That's the one that is hardest for most clubs, most members, even me. I have a hard time doing it, but it is so important and makes such a huge difference. Just simply saying, you are such a great person, we would love you to join. Would you like to? You don't have to pressure them. Don't say, okay, here's the membership application, sign it. But just say, boy, you really fit in well with this club. I love the table topics you did. Would you like to come back? Because we would love to have you as a member. That's closing the sale. Just saying, we want you. Can you imagine the difference that makes? Okay, you have a whole group of people, and they say, okay, well, it was nice having you, bye. No, we want you. You're special, and we want you part of us. So don't think of it as a hardcore sales technique where you're trying to get them to sign up for a timeshare condo or something like that. This is something that you believe in, and that passion will come out. And they are a person who can benefit from it and benefit the club through their being there. If you put that out there, that makes them want to be part of your club. You've told them you want them there, them specifically. So that makes a huge difference. Afterward, what do? After the meeting's over? Contact them. Follow up. Follow up. Phone them. Email them. Send them a postcard. Something. Just let them know, hey, it was great having you here. It was really neat. If you have any personal remembrances, mark that down. Oh, I just love how you did X and X, Y, Z. Put that down there so they know that it's not just generic. You were thinking of them. Another thing that some clubs do, and we did it once on one of our open houses, is if you join, and this is a little more of the hard sell type thing, but if you join tonight at this or during this demo meeting or within the next week, we will waive the $20 new membership fee. The club will cover that. So they just save $20 if they join now instead of in 2 weeks. So that may be a way to encourage them to do that as well. But follow up, make them welcome, show them that they're wanted, and be prepared. Be prepared, show them they're wanted, and follow up. Those are the key focuses of an open house. If you can do that, you will get members from your open house more and more and more and more. Okay. Are there any questions about open houses?
Yes.
Yes.
How many should we have a year?
As many, well, you can have one a quarter. There you go. You want a number? One a quarter. One a quarter. Yeah.
Madam President.
The guest packages, do you
Yes.
give them out when they come in or when they're leaving?
We give them out when they come in so that they have things to look at, keep themselves busy with until the meeting actually starts. It also gives them a chance to look through things, and if they have questions pop up, there's someone right there to answer it. Yes, Darren?
With the Vancouver Entrepreneurs Toastmasters Club, we've reached a stage now where every meeting is an open house. Because we are routinely getting 12 to 15 guests every single The main reason
I
for
take my quarterly feedback.
Yeah, I see that.
The main reason for that is that our webmaster is a brilliant person at search engine optimization. So if you type in Vancouver Toastmasters, we rocket to the top every time.
Wow.
So, but it's got to that stage where we have to run every meeting as an open house. We have to have a good guest package. We always have the food because the members would turn on us if we didn't. But it just seems we're all in, and everybody who's a member is into that vibe, that every meeting is an open house.
That's brilliant.
And we get all of our guests to get up and introduce themselves, and it's just, it works really well. And then everybody goes drinking afterwards downstairs.
I have a question. Do you have an official role of someone to bring the food? Or is it?
It goes with the Toastmaster. In our case, the Toastmaster is the chair of the meeting.
Oh.
So whoever's chairing the meeting is responsible for hitting the safe and getting some snacks. So there's
Any-
always food.
Thought of having a snack master role?
Some clubs have that.
Yeah. So that, because, being a Toastmaster in the chair is a lot to do with Jenna's, to have the food too. I mean, that's great, but I love food and I like having a snack master. That's their thing. And it works well. So just some idea there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we have that. I belong to another group that is with AutoCAD. It's at BCIT. And when we do the introductions at the beginning, the person that says, oh, by the way, at the end of his introduction, I'm the coffee guy, he gets the biggest clap.
Yeah, people like food.
And coffee. You'll have a lot of coffee shops here. But tea too. I mean, I hate coffee. I love green tea. So don't forget about the tea drinkers.
There's some good tea places here too.
Yeah.
So I'm going to open this up now to general questions, brainstorming ideas, just anything about how you can make your club better. A few minutes before the end, I'm going to ask Darren, I believe, to come up. Margaret pointed to you, I don't know, and talk about the district conference. But are there any other questions about membership building, about strengthening your club, about best practices within the meetings that any of you want to know? Darren?
Just something to share. A few years ago, around this time of year when it came time for renewal, we at the VETC, we lost half of our members. Scared the hell out of us. We thought, oh God, the sky is falling. This is terrible.
Right.
And we started on something for a membership building drive that has worked out very, very well with many clubs that I've been involved with. We got into, very simple, we asked every member to bring one guest per month. That was the minimum that we asked. We asked every member bring one guest per month and bring the person. Don't just drop them a line and say, oh, come on down.
Yeah.
Physically bring the person to the meeting. That worked indescribably well. And every club I've seen that applied, it's worked so well. Because you're going and saying, well, if we only bring one person, I'm going to bring her because she needs to come. Lots of ahs and ums. Or I'm going to bring my executive director because he can't communicate. Whatever it happens to be. And it worked really, really well. It brings that personal touch to things, and it's been a success everywhere I've seen it. And it's really simple, one guest per month. I mean,
Word of mouth is ideal. April?
Has anybody used business cards for their club members? Does that work?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the most economical way of getting those business cards? Anything, tips there?
We just bought the blank ones from Staples, and then you can download them from Toastmasters
There's the
International.
template, the business card template online.
Okay, and then you put your member's name on that?
Yeah.
And then,
Well,
Club
there's
information.
various ways. You put your club information on that.
Yeah.
Club name, we meet these days, and you hand them a card.
yeah, okay. But not our personal name? With
Yeah.
It
One
depends.
or the other.
We have a generic, here's our club and when we meet in our address and website card.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what we have. Yeah.
I think a weakness of some clubs is the mentorship. mentorship
Totally
program.
agree.
It's interesting
Yes.
how many clubs do that, because I think that's really valuable, say for an open house, to mention that. Because if you're new
Very good.
and you're like, oh, I'm going to go all by myself, but hey, if you join, if you want, you can be matched up with somebody who's been in Toastmasters for a while. And I think that can also probably help with the retention
Oh, yeah.
at the beginning. And
Give that man a cookie.
Yeah. No, that's a brilliant idea. A lot of people, when they first join a club, feel kind of lost. Okay, what do I do now? What is this role I'm supposed to fill? We have a club manual that breaks down the roles as we do them and how it's done. And we assign mentors within a week of anybody joining. So they join 1 week, they'll have a mentor when they come to the next meeting.
And sorry, just to add to that, we had a club contest 2 weeks ago, and a woman walked in and she was walking back out again because she wasn't sure about the contest. And so I said, oh no, come stay, sit. So she sat beside me and we were talking. And one of our members was up giving a speech about his initial fear of speaking at Toastmasters. I said, oh yeah, that's Scott, he speaks brilliantly and he's a great mentor. And she came back the next week with a check and a request that Scott be her mentor.
Oh. Yeah, exactly. April?
How do you keep your more advanced people when they get their CC and they start thinking about leaving? How do you keep them interested to go beyond?
Keep them learning. People like to learn. If they know, people seem to think when they hit the end of their competent communicator that, okay, well, now it's just more of the same. But it's not. Talk about the advanced manuals. Talk about the leadership opportunities. Talk about the opportunities outside of your club. The more they realize how wide the world is, the more likely they are to want to stick around. Yeah?
I would suggest finding specific one-off roles for them where they feel that they're useful and they can contribute.
Mentoring for them.
Well, mentoring or at specific meetings, for example, asking them, I asked one to be an ambassador for special guests. Just nice touches that have them, you know, that it's a level of recognition and use.
Right.
A number of ways. I suggest to make sure your club has a balanced program. What that means is each club, we all have some members who are more experienced. So when you schedule speeches, make sure you have a mix of CC speeches and more advanced speeches. So people are always seeing what other people are doing. And have your VP at whenever someone completes a CC, go to the member and schedule them within a month or two to begin their first speech from the advanced menu. And also one of the advanced menus is to present an award and receive an award. Maybe it's to present someone, just receive a CC, have them as a recipient as an award so they can start the AC menu and get a credit right away.
Excellent. So there was another hand, Margaret?
I was just going to say, get them involved beyond the club once they're at the advanced level. There are so many other opportunities, and once you get to other clubs and beyond, you just continue to grow and grow.
Opens right up, yeah.
I just wanted to go back to this mentoring thing.
Okay.
I was in a club and there were a number of, I've come across occasionally women who have joined, and I wondered if there should be some special attention paid here, because there are a lot of women who are very intelligent and who are in jobs, but they are single moms, or they are in a position where they should be getting higher,
right.
But one of the things that's holding them back is their ability to speak.
Okay.
And they have heard about Toastmasters. They get in, but they have the knowledge to do things, but they don't have the sort of street smarts that you should actually call boardroom smarts.
Right.
And if they are approached, and I've done this several times now, approach them and taught them how to blend Toastmaster skills with the intelligence that they've had, because they've had this infuriating experience of sitting around a table and somebody said, what are we going to do about a certain problem? And they know, and some idiot along there comes up with the answer that they've already had, and they say, oh well, let's promote Charlie, and they could have done it.
They couldn't get it out of them.
And they need it, and one of the things I've think I've found, and I'm sure everybody else has, it's often in the tone of their voice, and they speak so quietly that there's a lot of male chauvinism still, and the people are thinking, well, when she's finished, let's send her out and get her to make some coffee. They don't realise the thing. And I'm not being funny, this is still a lot around, and it's inbred. And when you work one-on-one with these people and on the telephone, now the downside of this is that after they've been in Toastmasters a year, they leave because they've got the skill, but they don't have the time to come here every week because they've got 2 kids at home and no man to support. But I just wonder if there isn't some sort of workshop on the side where this thing could be developed. Or maybe it is being developed.
A speech craft could be focused in that direction. Would be an idea. Any other thoughts?
Could they also use the new technology like Skype or something to connect? You know, like sometimes if they cannot leave their home, and we're also thinking about faraway members, like people who are on Fort St. John's or whatever place, and sometimes they don't have, you know, the time. You know, like we have the technology. Why can't we use that to, you know, be part? And sir, I agree with you, but it's not just men. There's also women that are quite aggressive. They take over people's space, and you know, like they don't consider the quieter members and that.
Okay, we've got about 2 more minutes, and then we're going to have to shut it down.
I was going to say Skype is an excellent idea because for a lot of people it's time, and the time to sort of travel and come back and stuff like that. It would be simple to have a laptop at one end.
I'm going to ask Brenda to answer that because there is Toastmaster policy regarding using that sort of technology. So I'll let Brenda.
So the scenario would be you have a good member, but now she can't come to the meetings and live anymore, and maybe to continue. If she has a mentor that she's been working with, but now she can't come to the meetings, I don't see a problem. If someone wants to give a 5-minute speech via Skype and you see their gestures and you hear their voice, they could be evaluated from afar and mentored. But they would have to have been a connected member of the organization. These are for situations where a single mom can't come to all the meetings. I've done I've done job interviews on Skype now, and I get the job. It's perfectly doable.
I thought Toastmasters had
a thing that you have to show up live in front of the audience. It's certainly a gray area, but if you want to keep them connected, or just do the mentoring session with the person via Skype and do a table topics just to keep them sharp, keep them connected, and then if they can come for a month or 2. Yeah, so it's an interesting use of technology, though.
You miss that whole energy of being.
Yeah,
I really think they have to come to the meeting because they get the impact of the people. And even when I watch a speech on TV or whatever,
it's not the same.
It is not the same as being in the room and getting the energy and the feeling of the people, and that's the beauty of Toastmasters, is the connection with the people there.
You can mentor over the phone.
Oh, mentoring.
Even keep the connection. If you don't see them for a month or 2, at least they're connected. So it's a good thought, and I think it's a good point with the Skype and the mentoring.
I'm going to take one more question, and then that's it.
May I ask the question that, like the people when they finish CC, then they didn't apply everything but didn't receive the recognition and also go to advance. They kind of like me, I'm very confused that is that lose of my interest because I finish CC and then I didn't know what to, because like CC when I get in the club and I have the pay, the book and everything, and had the mentor. But after I finished the CC, then I didn't have any recognition from the Toastmaster like long time ago until now.
So basically, what I'm hearing you say is that you got your CC and then everybody seemed to ignore you after that?
Yeah.
Basically, is that it? That's part of the reason we are losing our senior members is we don't give them the recognition that they need. Yeah, the manuals should be arriving.
And it's even I didn't receive a lot of information about it.
On the next steps. Yeah, that again is a mentorship issue within the club, and that's something that should be addressed within the club. That they need to have acknowledgement of what you've done and steps. These are your next steps.
Because like I go there and then like I lost.
Lost, exactly. You need to keep the mentorship going all the way through. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask Darren now to come up and give a very brief thing about the conference in Harrison Hot Springs, and then we're going to shut it down. Yeah. But I will always be around. If you have any questions, any thoughts, any ideas, email me. Darren.
Yes. Fellow Toastmasters, I'm going to keep this brief because I'm standing between you and freedom. 6 weeks from now, several hundred of us are going to go visit Arnold. I'm not kidding. We're not all going to descend on a Bigfoot meeting, but we have our spring conference May 11th, 12th, and 13th at the beautiful Harrison Hot Springs Resort. Why do you want to go to this? Several reasons. First of all, have you ever been to the Harrison Hot Springs Resort? Yeah. It's a wonderful place. We will have some amazing educational sessions. Absolutely terrific educational sessions. And one of the people doing the educating is Mr. Darren Lacroix. I like the guy, just because of his name, but he's also apparently a really, really good speaker and a terrific educator. That's a big drawing card. We're going to have some keynote speeches, some really, really good social time. Oh, and by the way, there are a couple of contests. We'll have the district finals for the International Speech Contest, the district finals for the evaluation contest. 90 minutes away, so you're away from home, but close to home. And Chuck, you're going to be videotaping the whole affair, and we'll have DVDs of the spring conference for sale there. It's a terrific time. What do you have here?
We've got a bag full of them. If anybody is interested before they leave, I've got a few here.
And this is from Suyas, or?
This is from various ones.
Oh. Yeah, if you want to check out a conference, he's got a whole bunch of DVDs to go check out. Time is short. It's only 6 weeks away. It's filling up very, very quickly. Go to the district website. Sign up from there. But please, come on, come all. It's going to be a tremendous experience. Has anybody here not been to a conference before? Oh, you gotta come. You don't know what you're missing, so you have to come. And if you have any questions, as I say, check out the district website.